Shalom, shalom, first and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. And this is Psalms 2:1, and it reads, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?" All right, so I wanted to bring this back out. We went over this on Sunday class here in the GMS Chicago camp. And I want to go into the Hebrew, break it down, and YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, RAWCHAA, that this will be correct, edifying, and straight to the point. All right, so why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Because let's ultimately get this, because ultimately the will of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI is for his son and his saints, who are the Israelites, known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the speckled bird, because you can look like any nation. The Spirit bears witness. But the will of the Most High God of the Bible is for his son, whose name is Yahawashi, and the Israelites, beginning with the elect, beginning with the 144,000 prophets and the rest of the large multitude that will receive salvation on down, ruling the earth. You know, the Yahawashi and the 144,000 being that top governing body of the universe. So it's Daniel 7:27, right? And this is Daniel, the 7th chapter. Daniel receives a vision of 4 beasts, which represent 4 kingdoms, which would rule until the end of the age. All right, so we would have the first beast, the Assyrio-Babylonian Empire. The second would be the Medo-Persian Empire. The third would be the Greeks. And the fourth would be the Roman Empire, which the Roman Empire we are still in currently. The Roman Empire, pursuant to Revelation, had one of its heads wounded to death. That beast had one of its heads wounded to death. And that was the so-called Dark Ages, when Israelites ruled so-called Europe. But what happened, the Renaissance period, and the spirit of Rome was rebirthed back into the earth. So we are still in the Roman Empire, which is that 4th beast. Right, the modern day Roman Empire, which is headed by America, Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon the Great. That great city, you know, with the NATO and the EU backing, you know, giving their power unto the beast, man. And the whore, you know, riding on top of the beast. But anyways, this is the Roman Empire ruling in the last days, that 4th beast. But what's going to happen after this? And this is written, man, it's guaranteed. See, everything written in the scriptures is guaranteed because it's already written. It's the words of the Most High God. Whatever he speaks comes to pass, and reality reflects that. You know, reality must conform to the words of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI. All right, so this is Daniel 7:27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, who are the Israelites. And we can just prove that real quick. Psalms 50:5, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So what nation of people made a covenant with YAHAWAH, with the Most High God, by sacrifice? That would be the nation of Israel, which we read about that in Exodus. after the Most High God, through his Son, delivered his people and then gave them his laws, his judgments, and made that covenant with them. That was the nation of Israel. Those who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So that's who the saints would be. So that's who's going to rule the saints. And who's the ultimate saint? YAHAWASHI. You know, YAHAWASHI is the top spirit created, right under his Father and our Father, Yahweh, the Most High God. So the whole universe is going to serve YAHAWASHI, man. So it says, shall be given to the people of, right, the dominion shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So this is what's going to happen after this final beast, Roman Empire, is fully finished and goes down. This is what's going to happen. Israel, beginning with YAHAWASHI, is going to rule under the whole heaven, the greatness of the kingdom, all the dominion, forever. So back to Psalms 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Because this is all in vain. But we know it's all to fulfill prophecy, because the armies are going to try to fight YAHAWASHI. You know, it's 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. You know, they're going to try to perform their enterprise. And ultimately, that's the New World Order. And their mark, which is the RFID microchip, Revelation 13 and 16 tells you that no man can buy or sell without it. So this is what they're imagining. All right, real quick. Nahum 1 and 9. What do ye imagine against Yahweh? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. See, Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined, right? By measure he had measured the times. By number he had numbered the times, man. Everything's already pre-scripted. Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Which means what? He's going to ultimately disappoint. I mean, this is a good one too. Let's read this. The Wadiah Bashim Yahushai, Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahawah, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So there it is. The wicked is the sword of the Most High. Because remember, the world was created for the sake of Israel, for the sake of Israel, man. So the other nations, particularly the wicked, Esau, Edom, the border of wickedness, that nation is the Lord's sword, as well as the other heathen nations. Like it says in Isaiah, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger. The Assyrians were used to put hell on the northern kingdom for committing idolatry. And the modern day Assyrian, the Edomites, are doing the same thing now. So if YAHAWASHI didn't come back, no flesh would be saved, because they would go forward with this enterprise, man, and everyone would be chipped. And then they would Esau would elevate himself to a God-like level of control, where you wouldn't be able to speak against him, so on and so forth. He would know everything about you, which even at this point, he pretty much already knows everything about us, but they want to take it to that ultimate final level, which is where it's under your skin. with that microchip. So that's what the mark of the beast is. And that's his ultimate crafty device right there. Job 5:12 reads, he disappointeth, right, the Most High God, through his Son, through his prophets, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Ooh, this is a heavy precept. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. What are the devices of the crafty? Well, first of all, who's the crafty? Oh, Salakia, serpent. We go back to Genesis. Genesis 3:1. Now this was the serpent that deceived Eve by bringing these false philosophies and these lies to her that sounded good. And this was before the man Esau was born, the progenitor of the Edomites. But this was the wicked of that time through the regeneration, if you can receive it. So Genesis 3:1 reads, because this word serpent is really going into an enchanter. A serpent so called from its hissing. See those lies, man. Nachash, to practice divination, right? See, a whisperer, magic spells. That's all Esau does. He whispers magic spells and enchantments and lies, hissing like the serpent, but he makes it sound good. So he's more subtle. Shrewd, crafty, having or showing sharp powers of judgment, astute. Not so much that. More so this. This is it right here. Clever at achieving one's aims by indirect or deceitful methods. Gradualism, unrighteous decrees. Right? Because we're really entrapped in this web of slavery through contracts, birth certificates, social security numbers. We've been turned into commodities, through these implicit contracts, because people don't really know about any of it. Legal fictions, straw mans, how the courts work, the law of the land versus maritime law, rights versus privileges, right? An actual legal nation versus a corporation. All these things, man. The serpent's more so subtle with it. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. The beasts of the fields represent the nations, which Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath power said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And that's that hissing. See, he comes in, though he speak fairly, believe him not, there's 7 abominations in his heart. Trump up there, oh, we got a new medical system. It's going to be more convenient, right? These are these enchantments that they're throwing on you. And ultimately, it's going to lead to that microchip. So that's the device of the crafty. That's his ultimate device, that crafty man. Job 5:12, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. What's their enterprise? The New World Order, where everyone's chipped and everyone is compliant and they are God. Transhumanism, they're seeking after eternal life. On the left hand, See, Jacob is seeking after eternal life on the right hand. The elect of Israel is seeking eternal life on the right hand through YAHAWASHI, which is the only way you can get it. And the left, the crafty, the Edomites, Esau, they're seeking on the left-hand side through AI, transhumanism, and their lying wonders, you know, because they've been given power on the left-hand side from Satan to perform these things, man, to deceive many. But ultimately, Yahweh is going to disappoint their devices so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. All right, Job 8:13. So are all the paths of all that forget the Most High, and the hypocrite's hope shall perish. So again, why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? They forgot the Most High. They don't acknowledge him. They casted his words behind. And they think that they can override prophecy. They think they can fight the Son of the Most High. They think they can fight the angels. And but yeah, that's a good devil right there. That's a good villain. You know, that's a hell of a villain character, man, in this movie that we're in. So call Allah Yimla YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI RATAZA, that we're in the role of the elect. But yeah, so back to back to it. Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent, basically, if we go into this, this is basically going into the angels, the watchers, the eyes of Yahweh are in all places, beholding the good and evil. So the powers, the angels, they execute the will of Yahweh. They work on the minds of men. It says, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. And the basest of men is who's currently in rulership, Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man who is ruling this earth right now, beginning with the Amalekites, which they call themselves so-called Jewish people, beginning with those top banking elites. Those top banking elite families are the ones who enslave, through these contracts, through all this legal stuff, all this these low-key contracts that they set up, but they are the basest of men. But the Most High God gave them power to do this in the last days. And there's also the fulfillment of Esau's blessing. Back to Genesis 27. You'll have the fatness of the earth. By your sword you shall live. To roughly paraphrase, So the so-called white man has to weaponize everything. But he is the basest of men. All right. And he's going to bring his own destruction upon himself. He's bringing his own tongue to fall upon himself. He's unraveling. It's all falling apart. So he's going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. And that's that rage, because this word rage. So it says lama, why, or to what, like to what, ma meaning what, like lama, like to what, why do they rage, to what, to no purpose. Ragash, to rage, lama, ragashwa, gawayim, why do the heathen rage? To be in a tumult or a commotion, to conspire, to plot. Right? What do you, like we read in Nahum, what do you imagine against Yahweh, man? What do you think you're conspiring? Who do you think? Who do you think you're conspiring against? So why do the heathen rage? And the people, YAHAWAH, and the people imagine YAHAWAH. So they imagine a vain thing. This is rayak. The word for vain is empty. Is empty. It's going to come to naught. Everything else except what's written in the scriptures is going to come to naught. And that's a beautiful thing, man, because we stand on that rock. We stand on the word of Yahweh, which is YAHAWASHI. We stand on that rock. Because everything else is, it's rayak. Right, from the root word rawak. Is empty, man. It's wanting. It's lacking, right? Like the kingdom of the Babylonians was found wanting. Found, what is it? Found lacking. Found wanting. And this was the ancient Babylonians. Belshazzar's feast. This was right before the Babylonians. I believe this was Nebuchadnezzar's son. Right before their kingdom got translated to the Medo-Persians. So they lost their kingdom. Daniel 5:26, when they saw the handwriting on the wall, Daniel interpreted it. Daniel 5:26 is an interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Right, by measure, he had numbered the times, man. So this is what's happening to modern day Babylon as well, which is America. Daniel 5:27. Thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. So you didn't measure up, Esau. You're found wanting with this wicked confusion, abominable, out of order setup that you created. Proud, exalting yourself. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is not mocked, man. Sirach 18:3, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. Including you, Edomites, including you so-called white people, the elites of you. You're just doing his will, being his sword. For he is the king of all. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. Holy things from among them profane. So the holy nation would be Israel. The profane nations would be beginning with Esau. Lest there be any profane fornicator such as Esau, right? Like the Apostle Paul said. And the other nations are profane as well, because they're outside of the services and the covenant of the Most High God, in Romans the 9th chapter. So yeah, this real quick, Judith 10:19. And they wondered at her beauty and admired the children of Israel because of her, because of Judith. She was very beautiful and graceful. It says, and everyone said to his neighbor, who would despise his people that have among them such women? Surely it is not good that one man of them be left, who being let go might deceive the whole earth. So the heathen can recognize that the children of Israel are different from them. They have like it says, it's right in the same chapter. Oh, no, it's a different chapter. But it says what? Ye are gods. So surely it's not good that one man of them be left. So they wanted to fully take us out. You know, Psalms 83, they are confederate against thee. Because if Israel is right with their power, then they're going to rule over these heathen with that rod of iron. And the heathen pretty much recognize that. You know, I believe in Maccabees, it goes into it too, how they wanted to wipe out Israel completely. Because they know who we are. They know we're the sons of God. YASHARAHLA. So why did Psalms 2:1, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together, saying against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, right, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. See, let's break free of Israel. Let's break free of Yahweh, so we can do our ways. Nope. Psalms 2:4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. So the Most High God is laughing at you, heathen, and your plans and your conspiracy, your plots, your tumultuous assemblies. So yeah, man, that's pretty much the point. You know, just really want to just hit the point that whatever's written in the scriptures is going to happen. And what's written is that the Most High God is going to set up his son and the nation of Israel to rule forever and ever. So this everything we're seeing is all just part of prophecy, as far as the World War III, the microchip, AI, you know, transhumanism, the modern day slavery system that we're in. You know, it's all just prophecy that's going to happen in these last days, the end of this age, because Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So with that, I pray that this was edifying and to the point, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Once again, double honors to our apostles and our elders, elder bishops, and all the elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who continue to teach us every day, man. With that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Kwam YASHARAHLA, Wa Shalom.